what, 400 people already. We are over 400 people in less than 4 seconds. We are now about to touch 500 already. Come on in. Come on in, y'all. Surprise, surprise, surprise. We are live. Come on in. Surprise. You know the drill. Let your brother know what city, what state, what country you are checking in from. We are live. Come on in. Come on in. Yes, I know. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Let me know what city, what state, what country you are checking in from. If you have not joined the Patreon, you might want to go join that really quick. You might want to go to patreon.com ASAP, search Rizza Islam and join right now. But I have something I'm going to go over, a few things I'm going to go over right now. While you're joining the Patreon right now, go to Rizza Islam on Patreon, join. While you're doing that, I'm going to bring someone in right now. We have something that we're going to discuss really quick, if you don't mind. Let me know what city, what state, what country you are checking in from. Been live for about 20 seconds, and we are already nearing 700 people. I'm going to bring somebody in right now, y'all. Have an announcement. We'll have a few announcements. But while you are joining the Patreon, again, go to Rizza Islam on Patreon, join. I'm going to bring our guest in because there is something special that we are about to do on the 30th and a few other things. I have a lot of announcements, just put it that way. Dallas, Texas, get ready. Next month, your brother will be in Dallas, Texas. Next month, get ready for that next month. Y'all keep letting me know where you are from, what city, what state, what country you're checking in from, and go to Patreon. Come on, y'all. Share the live. Let everyone know your brother is live. Share the live. Peace to my family over in Haiti. Peace to my Canadian family.
What's going on? What's going on?
Look at my sis.
Oh, hey, brother. Hey.
I'm well. Look at you. Oh, man. It's been a long time. Now that I'm thinking.
A long time. I have been being a mama. I've been chilling. I have not really been doing much this last year and a half, but we back. My brother said he probably got retirement. I need to come teach at his class. So I'm excited for the 30th. If you all have not gotten your tickets to do whatever you need to do to be present on the 30th, what are you waiting for? Drop some flames in the chat if you are excited for Surviving Vegan and Rizza Islam to be teaming up to tell you what you need to do to take control of your life. It is your season. It is abundance season. It is your time to stop affirming what you need and command what you need, because now is our time.
Link in the bio, y'all. Link in the bio. This is my sister right here. Okay, whenever we get together, for those of you who know, it is nothing but phenomenal work that we get done. Transforming lives all over the place. They still try to figure out how the heck to find your brother whenever I get with my sister, and I try not to get her platform shut down. And it's like we figure it out every time.
Definitely figure it out. Like I always told you, we'll be here to the very, very end. I appreciate you to the hearts and the wheels fall off. We're gonna be riding together, and I look forward to being a service to you all this lifetime.
And for those of you who don't know, again, you have to click the link in my bio. This 30th, we're talking about in 5 days, very, very soon. Me and my sister are doing a virtual class, a virtual event, a virtual gathering where we're going to be presenting a lot of information, solutions, life-changing information that you need to have, especially at this time. If you notice what's going on in the world, a lot of stuff that we've been talking about, for those of you who already know, you know. But for those of you who have not been keeping up, there's a lot of things that you're now getting hit with because you may not have been catching on. So we don't want you to get caught up in the next wave of things. So please, you want to make sure you click the link in my bio, as I said before, and get ready for the 30th, because my sister is going to bring the facts, the solutions, all the different key information. You know, we always, again, I'm just excited because I haven't even seen, we haven't seen each other, I would say. Yeah.
Yes, over a year. It's been a year. Oh my God, it's been a year already. Yes, you know, Goddess is almost 2 now, so we've been getting that together. but I definitely want to check in with the people. You know, I want to just know what has been, everybody isn't talking about how tough it really is for everyone. And everybody's still acting like things are okay. And I want you all to drop in the comments what has been some of the toughest things that you've been dealing with mentally, spiritually, and physically over these last maybe 15 months, 16 months. Because I know I'm not the only one that has felt the rattle and the shake, shake in our community. I know I'm not the only one. So drop in the comments what you have been experiencing over this last 12 months. Health. Shout out to Team Angel. Team Angel says health. Y'all give some hearts for Team Angel being transparent. We appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. We are happy that you decided to join us. Anxiety and panic attacks. Listen, it is real. The afterwave, the aftershock is the biggest thing that people are not talking about.
Of course.
After, you know, what we've been through this pandemic, right? People are not talking about the mental health residual challenges that so many people are dealing with. Even if you were prepared, even if you were prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually, you still were in a frequency of just worry and fear and anxiety. And that got on some of us. And then a lot of people as well is experiencing economic collapse, getting back healthy. Fear of the hospital. Team Angel said, I'm fearful of the hospital. I'm scared to go in there. Fighting with doctors on immunization for my babies. That's a big one. We've been fighting that one for a long,
that's a major
long
time. It is real. Yes. And again, 15 months, the last 15 months, man, your brother's been dealing with too much. See, and I know everyone has been dealing with it. I mean, I lost 2 family members in the last year, you know, mother and brother, back to back. The financial side, of course, hit all of us. Everything dealing with travel, health, with a lot of other family members. It's been a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff. And then, of course, having to help the people through it, too, is different.
For me as well, I lost 3 relatives in the last year. Less than a year. And I definitely experienced changes in my business as well. And I realized, you know, all things happen for a reason and for almighty plan. But I realized, you know what, we have the tools. And that's what I'm going to be talking about on the 30th, right? Through the pandemic, through all of these things, we became a lot of people became self-sufficient, but a lot of people also lost their damn mind. A lot of people lost their mind, and they're still trying to find it, still trying to understand this shift in this new world. And we're talking about energetic portals opening and things of that nature. There are real shifts that are happening emotionally and spiritually. And the biggest thing, and the biggest tool, is it okay if I share the biggest tool that you have? Drop some flames in the chat if it's okay if I share the biggest tool that you have, that you own, that nobody can take away from you, to pull yourself from any challenge, obstacle, any fear, anxiety that you may be feeling. You can pull yourself towards balance, health, prosperity, abundance. Drop some flames in the chat if I can reveal one of the biggest tools. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you the top 3 tools, that I think that can be helpful for us. Shout out to 101 Road. Shout out to Natural Baby for dropping the flames in the chat. Okay, so myself, Rizza, you know, I've told this story so many times. I've been in that deep, dark state. And I do believe that the Most High, that God prepared me for times like this, because I've been in a deep, dark state mentally where I felt like there was a cloud hanging over my shoulders, like nobody was listening to me, like nobody loved me, like I didn't know which way to go. And I know I'm not the only person that could possibly be feeling like this. And I know I'm not the only person that has felt like this in the past. So don't let me be the only one. If y'all following me, let me know you're following me in the chat. I felt alone, Rizza, to the point that I wanted to take my own life. Well, I had written the suicide note. I had planned to drive my car for 385. And after this pandemic, that cloud started to come back. It started to come back, and it was paired with so many different things. It was paired with financial loss. It was paired with relationship loss. It was paired with feeling like the world is just not the same. And as that cloud was starting to come back in my life over this last year, 12, 14 months, I'm sitting here like, I have to get ahead of this. I have to get ahead of this. But I also felt so lost in it as well. How do I get ahead? And then I sat down one day, it actually, March 24th, God rest her soul and bless her soul, my grandmother transitioned. And seeing my grandmother transition and the way in which she transitioned, it wasn't, in my opinion, peaceful, how it should have been, right? And in those moments, I said, I can't let everything I went through break me, right? I can't allow everything that I've gone through break me, because there's so much to live for. I have to create a better world for myself and for my children. I know I'm not the only one, and I cannot allow my grandmother to transition in vain and let that pain that she left with continue in my bloodline. Right. So something allowed me to go sit by the lake over these last few weeks. And I said, you know what? I just had to ponder, and I had to go back to those moments, because no matter what you've been through in life, you got through it, right? If everybody's on this live with us, you've gotten through it. See, before I give these 3 tips that I think will help you out, I want to give you the biggest mistake that a lot of people make on this journey. The biggest mistake, and if that's okay, I'm going to say it now. The biggest mistake that most people make is, yes, we can get the money, we can get the farms, we can get all of the information, we can get even the food correct, right? We can get all of that correct, but have you focused on internal balance within yourself and within your home? And the biggest thing that people miss is the food portion. But why do they miss the food portion? Because they don't realize that the food portion is connected to the spiritual and the mental portion. Okay, if you cannot even control what you put in your own body, it will be not too long from now, where on your journey, you will realize that you don't have the tools, or you don't have the tools to sustain. Because even in life and with your health and with your business, it's easy to get started. Most people think it's hard to get started, but it's easy to get started, but it's even harder to sustain what you have started. Right. So the biggest issue and the biggest problem that I'm seeing a lot of people have is they're not connecting their spiritual, mental, and emotional being to the physical things that they want to see happen in their life. We didn't just go through this pandemic on a physical plane. You're not just experiencing a loss in people lost their jobs, people lost family members. But if something is happening to you physically, it's happening to you mentally and spiritually as well. So a lot of us have lost our mind. A lot of us have lost the natural love and nurturing feeling that we honored within ourselves and we harbor within ourselves. So how do we get back to that? Here's the 3 clues. Here's the 3 secrets. Here's the 3 sauces, however you want to say it. Okay, here's those 3. Number 1, you have to unplug. Listen to me. We have the #1 vegan holistic transformation community, and the #1 thing people write me is, when it's time to do a detox, when it's time to get back on track, they say, oh, I don't know if this fits into my schedule. I don't know if this fits into my schedule. You don't understand if being your best self fits into your schedule. Unplug. Don't be scared of unplugging. Somebody type unplug in the chat. Don't be afraid of unplugging. Unplugging looks like breaking the connection you have to your job. You got to work, yes, but it shouldn't control you. Breaking the connection you have with food that controls you. Breaking the control that you have with relationships that control you. Don't tell me it don't control you. And you said on Monday, I'm going to start this detox, but as soon as you went to work and they say they're having a potluck, you're like, oh, a potluck today? Oh, I'll start next week. Oh, okay, the detox can wait. It controls you. It's an addiction, and it's okay. The first thing you need to do is unplug. We have to unplug. We have to prioritize what's important to us. You should be the most important thing to yourself. Ayaska, I think I said it right. Iska, it says Iska, unplug from all that doesn't serve you. Unplug is the first clue. The second clue, stop ignoring the red flags. It's so many red flags, it's a sea of flags. I'm talking about getting our house in order, because you cannot expect abundance and manifestations in your life, whether it's mentally, physically, or spiritually, to happen if your internal house is not in order. And it's not a race. Stop looking on social media and be like, this person is there and this person's doing this and that. Oh my God, my life is horrible. Everybody's life bad. Everybody putting on for social media. Everybody putting on from social media. They're only going to show you the highlights. Stop with the comparing. That's a red flag. Right. If I was going to talk about red flags, you should look at other people. Oh, no. Not the red flags you should look for in other people. Let's talk about your red flags. Let's talk about your red flags. Drop some red flags in the comments. I know I'm not the only one that got a few little skeletons in the closet, right? For myself, I'll just be transparent. One of the biggest red flags for myself that I had to realize to help myself move back into harmony with self is release control. Release control of things and of people and of the life that I think that I should have, and accept and be grateful and honor the things that I do have. Hey, Rizza, I done turned my garage into a sauna. I know you see me in here.
I was gonna say, yeah, I got the air. I forgot you didn't do that on purpose. That's real. No, you teaching. You teaching.
Unplug. The red flag.
I know. Yeah.
Prioritize your love for self. Look at yourself and say, hey, what is it that I am ignoring about myself that helps me to stay in the situations that I don't want to be in? Let me say that one more time. What is it that I'm ignoring about myself that helps me to stay in the situations that I don't want to be in?
That's a big one.
Because before we could get to the food, fam, before we could talk about what to eat and the detoxes to take, are you going to be consistent? 9 times out of 10, most people can't be consistent for 90 days every day. And that's not because you don't want the health. It's not because you want to call diseases to you. It is because of the emotional turmoil that you have not recognized, that you have not acknowledged, that still lives in your bioplasmic spirit that surrounds your body. It's like magnets stuck to your spirit. And the only thing that's going to allow you to not disassociate from it, but for you to rise to a point where you say, you know what, it happened to me. I went through it, but guess what? I'm coming on the other side and I'm turning my pain into purpose. Somebody drop in the comments, pain to purpose. Your pain is turning into your purpose.
It's real.
We got to get excited about Sunday. We got to get excited about Sunday, because I want you to come into this conversation understanding that you are a balanced being, that you are abundant, that you are not apart from God, that you are a part of God. So yes, the first thing you got to do is you have to unplug, because all the noise that's around you is keeping you distracted. Brother Rizza Islam puts that on expose every day. Number 2, you got to look at the red flags that you have in your own life. For me, it's to relinquish control of things that I cannot control. People I cannot control. Situations I cannot control. Drop in the comments, because I know I'm not the only one. What is your red flag? What is your red flag? Pain to purpose. Absolutely. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jenny. Pain to purpose. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Platinum Queen West, pain to purpose. Thank you, Platinum Queen West. I just want to tell y'all, we are so happy that y'all decided to join us on this live. You are in the right place at the right time. No matter what you may be going through at home, what people want you to be, what you're going through at work, people not agreeing with your lifestyle, you are in the right place at the right time. You are the one that's breaking generational curses. But I want you to realize this, point number 3. The third secret, after you unplug, after you identify the red flags, the third secret is to give yourself grace. And these are simple things, but when applied, they can create great change in your life. And the reason why I said to give yourself grace, because you notice we are all talking about generational traumas, breaking these generational curses. Well, guess what? If it's generational, that means that it's not all going to be done in your lifetime. It's not all going to be done in your lifetime. So be patient with yourself. If you've been dealing with this ailment for 10 years, give yourself at least 3 to 5 years before you actually remedy it. If you've been dealing with toxic abuse and trying to get out of that within the last 20 years, mentally and emotionally, give yourself 5 to 10 years till you heal those wounds that you carry in your spirit. It's not a race. It's not a destination. It's a journey. Somebody put it in the comments. It's a journey, y'all. And I need y'all to click that link
in the
because we on fire on Sunday on the 30th. Okay, click that link and y'all support the brother. He's given us so much. Giving us so much. And now it's time for that energy exchange, right? It's that energy exchange. You're going to plug into the right things. So you're going to unplug the things that no longer serve you. It's time to plug into the right things. We got to power each other. We have to exchange this energy with each other.
Man, that's real.
Recognize the builders in our community. And I will say that I agree. And I'm just going to give my brother his flowers while we're on this live. You are a builder in our community. And I told you that many years ago. And let me tell you something. Listen, I like to teach by saying we should be self-sufficient. I like to keep it real. I like to keep it raw. I like to get straight to the point. I don't want to dance all around. If you see any content on my page, I get straight to the point. And a lot of people don't like that, right? But if I can get straight to the point right now on this live, somebody get straight to the point.
She gonna do it too.
She
not just saying, she gonna do it.
Get straight to the point.
This is gonna do it.
Get straight to the point in the comments. Get straight to the point. Thank you. I see y'all drop and get straight to the point in the comments. Shout out to Cleveland, keeping everybody up to date with the steps in the process and the procedures. Thank you, 1975 Freedom Warrior, blunt and honest. Shout out to Nee James. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Daphne James, get straight to the point. Shout out to Laurel, get straight to the point. Okay, we getting straight to the point. Listen to me. We have builders in our communities. We have people that have pledged in our communities. And this is the reason why I think that everybody should be there on the 30th. Because it's time for us to pledge with the energy that we have for the things that we want to command and call towards us. Okay? It's time for us to pledge with energy. Whether you just pledge by being on this live, you pledge with sharing a post, and you pledge to come to the class on the 30th, you have to keep pouring energy into what you want to see coming to fruition. The first thing that I learned that you need to pour energy into is you need to go to 100 events within a 12-month span. Those 100 events, look, for somebody, this is going to be a game changer.
It's critical.
You acknowledge this and you exercise this. This is going to be a game changer. You need to go to 100 events, all right? Those 100 events need to be focused on self-development, financial development, spiritual development, and physical development. 100 events per year. They could be virtual, they could be in person. They could be high ticket, they could be low ticket, but you need to commit to that because it's a journey and not a destination. Once you implement that key into your life, 100 events in a 12-month span, you're going to look back and you're going to see yourself on that incline. So coming to this event on the 30th is about that incline that we are all desperately working on finding, continuing, and growing. Yes. Shout out to everybody keeping the notes in the comments. Yes, I love this.
Think is over here for real. Make sure y'all click the link in the bio. This is a serious thing on the 30th. It's 5 days from now. 5 days.
5 days from now.
I think last I checked, I think there's 75 on there.
$75. Let's go. Don't hear the price and you're like, ooh, Rizza, ooh. Listen, I always say, spend your last. Like I said, I'll be blunt and truthful, and I'm only going to advise something that I actually do for myself. The last things I spend my money on is glass bottled water and things that are going to grow my mental, spiritual, and emotional self.
That's
We
a
have to do
fact.
it.
That
We
is a
have to do
fact.
it.
Man, you know how much money I spent on water, I think, a week ago. Man. Yeah.
I'm literally sitting here like,
yeah.
okay, it's time to get the farm going. It's time to get the farm going, right? But we're not going to put, you know,
That's
a
funny.
monetary for the experience of living in a capitalist society. Yes, things cost money. That's just what it is, right? Second thing, though, it's all about that energy exchange. When we talk about, you know, getting the right mentors, drop some flames in the chat. If Rizza Islam has ever presented something to you or myself, drop some hearts in the chat for me and drop flames in the chat for Rizza. If we have ever given you something on these social platforms that helped you mold and shape a part of your journey, no matter how big or how small, drop some flames or drop some hearts in the chat. Drop some flames or drop some heart in the chat.
That's a good point.
Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Cleveland.
That's love, y'all. That's love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the flames as well. Absolutely. We're going to continue on that journey. But I can guarantee you one thing that we can promise you, because we have a duty for all the people that are on social media that follow us, that we're going to continue to put information out that continue to transform your mind, and you can take it and you can go to the moon with it. But there is one thing, so help me God, that I can promise you, that if you decide to invest in yourself, not only do we take that seriously, but even above that, we're going to make sure you get all the wins that you need in order to make sure that investment is a win for you.
That's fact.
We've already proven that with the free content on social media. So imagine when you say, I'm going to invest more energy into this, and I am going to go and get the things that are reserved for those who are saying, you know what, I'm going to trust and I'm going to invest in myself. Some people say, well, why can't everything be for free in the conscious community? Number one, I want y'all to realize that we don't have no jobs and we have dedicated our life to this. That's number one. But number two, for you, it's not even about us. When you start to show on a spiritual level that I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever the investment is, mentally, spiritually, financially, whatever it is, I'm going to do what it takes. That's when you realize, and that's when you have proven to the Most High, to the energies that be, to the universe, that I am ready for the anointing, that I am ready for the abundance. One of the ways that I was able to pull myself out of depression and anxiety was in pouring into myself mentally, spiritually, and physically, and financially.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because if you truly believe that you are an abundant being, there is no amount of money that you cannot attain. I want us to understand that. Let me share a secret with y'all.
It can be done.
Without selling out. I've been in some amazing rooms, and I want to tell you something. The amount of money you have or don't have does not change the amount of stress that you experience. The amount of money that you have or that you don't have, it does not determine your spiritual richness. But I do want to say that what you invest in does determine how many challenges you overcome on your journey, how many people you can bring with you, and how much you can transform your life. So when we talk about investing and people say to me, why can't it be free? We do things for free. We're going to give things for free to the community. But when does it require an investment from your end, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or financially, to see what's on the other side? And that's all I'm going to say about that piece. Because Thursday, to everybody that said on this live, I'm deciding to invest in myself on Sunday, not Thursday. On Sunday, you're going to look back on this live and say, I'm glad that I put myself, my children, and my family in a better position. This was the best $75 that I could have invested in. Best event that I can invest in for $75, because you're probably going to spend it on Uber Eats anyway, if you're anything
That's
like
one
me.
meal for me.
Okay?
That's one meal for me.
It's probably that's one meal for me as well. That's one meal for me as well. But I look forward, though, honestly, really diving deep into some of the things that I'm currently doing for myself, and I'll give some of that on this weekend. I'll be entering, by the time I come on live, I'll be on the 3rd day of a fast that I'm doing with my family. And for everybody, I would love to give your community the actual PDF of what I'll be doing with my family, ages 1 to 33. Right, what we'll be doing on the detox regimen. So at the end of my presentation on Sunday, I will be giving that gift out. We are going to go on a greens, sea moss, herbal, nuts and seed fast for my children. So I'm going to break down from ages 1 all the way to 33, obviously male and female, what you can do to get back your health on track in 72 hours. Me and my family will be starting on Friday, and on Sunday when I come on and I speak, I'll be ending that fast, and I'll be ending it in a glorious way, being able to share that document with the family as well. See, I just told y'all a little bit of the secret, a little bit of the surprise. I told y'all a little bit of the surprise, but this is what I'm saying. When you invest in yourself, if I would have kept that a secret, when you would have came on Sunday, you would have been like, I'm glad that I did it. Well, I got more surprises. I got more things to share with the family, more things I have not talked about on social media, because it's not the appropriate place for those who understand. My brother, Rizza Islam, I appreciate you bringing me on, and I can't wait for Sunday.
This is why. See, first off, I want us to all show some love to our sister really quick. Again, me and her have not spoken, I would say, face to face or live in over a year. We've been building things, family and everything. We've been doing what we do. But Sunday is going to be extremely transformative for all of you who know your brother. You know, clearly I don't do what I do to be seen, or else I would have stopped talking about the things that got my networks taken down over and over again. So we don't do it to be seen. We don't do it for fame. We do it because it is the right thing, and it's to be done for the people. 22 years, sis, I had to back up real quick and think about it. 22 years I've been involved in this work. 22 years. Before Instagram even existed, your brother was in the community doing this work. Before I was on Facebook, before I was on YouTube, Twitter, any of that, we've been doing this work. So again, it's just something to be grateful for, to know that we have been doing this. We have been in this cycle of really investing into the people, because that's where our heart lies. And that's why it's a reciprocal thing. We have to invest in one another. But on Sunday, man, I don't even want to give y'all, I'm trying not to get you. Look, you know how this is. I have to watch what I say too. So it's like, I can't tell you that, but just know when you click the link in the bio, you reserve your seat. You're going to get the health information. You're going to get the mental, as far as, that has to be coupled with it, because there is a spiritual and mental counterpart for every physical reality. Always going with the balance, always. So you have to look at that. We're going to go over some things dealing with that. We're going to go over some prep information as it pertains to the food, as it pertains to the water, as it pertains to what this enemy is doing, where the food and the water are concerned, so that we can be prepared to get around that. Same way we did our best to prep y'all with the whole pandemic circumstance. Really. And it's a lot of people who listen were able to protect themselves with the documentation, were able to protect themselves with the health, protect themselves in many different ways, because we were able to arm them with that information. So we want to do the same thing on Sunday. So again, please make sure you click the link in the bio for that. You won't regret it. Of course not. I'm telling you, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I can't really go into it now, because y'all know this is what this network is, and we have to do our best to dance around giving information. But no, sis, I'm excited, and I'm grateful again for you and your family, and for all the beautiful work that you have done of not giving up on yourself, to be honest. Not giving up on yourself, not giving up on your children, not giving up on the king that you have, not giving up on the community that you've been able to build, because it is a major community that I remember when it first started way back then. I'm like,
yes,
man.
Yes, Rizza, I appreciate your support so much. Rizza was the only one who wasn't trying to take my whole account from under me for the post. I was like, thank you so much, Rizza. I appreciate you. And for that, I told you I would ever be able and willing to do anything that you needed me to do. So however you need me to serve and do for your community, I'm more than willing to help you out.
Yes.
And like I said, we definitely have to catch up, because I got a lot of great things to come. And I wanted to know if anybody had any questions. It's okay we do a few questions. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Drop some questions in the comments. Maybe you have some questions about what we'll be talking about on Sunday, or maybe just have any questions in general.
Got a couple
let's
minutes.
get some questions answered. Hey, Miss Billion.
Yeah, I got a couple questions. If you just drop those real quick, because I know my sister, she, as she was saying, she is a mother. I'm not a father yet. Okay, but our sister is a mother, so she has, look.
Soon come. I call it from the heavens. Soon come. Where can we move where it will be safer?
Yep, I'm going over some of that. I am.
Okay, so you're gonna. Well, I would say some of the things. Some of the things you want to seek high ground. I would definitely say that. You want to find a place that has fertile soil. So you want high ground, fertile soil, and in my opinion, preferably outside of the United States.
That last part is the hardest pill to swallow.
That's one of my big ones.
Last part, outside of the U.S. And again, these are to prepare. This is just in case. Worst case scenario, there are things you want to look at, and then there are going to be some things that you should absolutely do now. So there are steps, there's different layers we're going to go in. We're not just going to say, man, you should absolutely just go over here and do this. No, there's layers, because everybody's not able to just get up and move like that. So there are options and solutions for every person in every situation. For those who are asking that question, somebody just said Africa. Yeah, it sounds nice until y'all start traveling. You got to know, for those of us who have traveled a lot, it's a lot of things you have to consider when you start going out of the country. All right. It's a lot of things.
100%. You definitely want to be intermingled, especially with people in high places, just so that your family and self can be safe. I see somebody asked me about fasting while breastfeeding. Is there a way? So I would just say, you could do some detoxing until noon. You might not want to do it the whole day, especially if you're new to it. You just don't make it hard. Get you a high fiber fruit. And you fast on that fruit, or detox with that fruit from the time you wake up until noon time, and then you start eating your protein, carbs, and fat in that 12 to 8 window.
Yeah, that circadian rhythm is a critical thing. Eating according to the time, blood type, seasons, all that stuff is very critical. So we want to go into that as well. There's a lot of questions here.
I know. I'm looking through it right now.
And I'm going to stay on live for a few minutes after our sister departs. I'm going to stay on live for a few more minutes to give y'all some updates on some other things as well. But man, this is good. It's just good to see my sisters. Good to to see that you're doing good. Hearing about the family, y'all doing good. It's good to have good news during these times. I appreciate it. Good news.
Yes. We definitely we're going to catch up. And I'll do this last question here. It says, I've been eating healthy for the last 2 months, but I've gained weight. How? So if you're eating a calorie surplus, no matter what type of food you eat, it can be the healthiest food, it can be the junkiest food, you will gain weight. If the amount of calories you eat are higher than the amount of energy that you output through exercise, through walking, through running errands, whatever it is, you will gain weight. So the first thing that I would do is figure out, is it because I'm eating a calorie surplus, or is there a hormonal imbalance? So most of the time when people have hypothyroidism, they also have issues of weight gain. So that will be a hormonal imbalance, an imbalance in the hypothalamus gland or the thyroid gland. And if you say, hey, it's not because I'm eating a calorie surplus, then we would look into other things. You can start getting your thyroid level for TS levels, thyroid stimulated hormone levels, to see if there are any abnormalities with the test. But even before a test will tell you. Y'all know what I say. The body will start to tell you. So when there's usually hormonal imbalances, especially for women, you will have issues with the menstrual cycle. So your menstrual cycle will be 5 or 7 days long. It will be heavy. It will be painful. Believe it or not, cramps during your period, discomfort during and after your period, discomfort before your period, PMS and cramps are not normal, y'all. It is not normal. It is not normal. Okay, it has been normalized, but it's not normal. Those are telltale signs that there are issues with hormonal imbalance, right? It could be because of high estrogen in the body. So we know what are those things that we not only put on our skin, put on our body, but also in our environment that cause high estrogen in the body. If you're eating on a lot of plastic plates and plastic forks, and you're using plastic water bottles, and then that plastic gets heated up because you're putting food on it, or the water bottle gets hot, that releases chemicals into the body that they call forever chemicals, BPAs, etc., that lead to high estrogen in the body. What comes from high estrogen? Fibroids, cysts, hormonal imbalance, PCOS, fertility problems, breast cancer. All of these come from high estrogen in the body, right? So when we talk about weight gain and we're saying, hey, it's not because calorie surplus, then we want to start looking at the body. Do I have hair growing around the mouth? That's usually a sign of hormonal imbalance, issues with the reproductive system. And then you look at the menstrual cycle, of course, if you're a woman. And then these are some of the telltale signs that the body starts to show.
Get ready. Y'all better get ready for Sunday.
That was helpful.
You might want to get ready.
Oh, oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg. TA 60. I hope I said it right. 60. I use nothing but plastic. Start to minimize that. Okay. Start with the paper plates and the forks. Yes, you're gonna be washing a little bit more, but what's more important, right? What's more important? Is it my health that's more important, or is it the convenience that's more important? Y'all know this convenience have gotten us in a lot of trouble. Somebody put this in the comments. Convenience equal trouble. Convenience equal trouble. The more convenient it is, it's probably the most unhealthiest thing that you consume, put on your body, or participate in. Okay? Correct. So the more convenience that we experience that is allotted to us, then yes, it causes health problems. Trying to cut corners is how we got our butt in this mess. All right. So, hey, hi, Miss B. I was talking about you the other day. She says no plastic and no foil. I absolutely agree with that. No plastic and no foil, but start small. I always say, invest in, the first thing you should invest in is removing the paper plates, the paper forks from your home, as well as the plastic water bottles. It has now been studied that, and revealed through studies, that we are consuming anywhere between 2 to 5 grams of microplastics a week. That's about enough microplastic to create half of a debit card or a whole debit card.
And then we can go into what that does, because that's another side of it. Like you mentioned, BPA, bisphenol A, which is a synthetic estrogen mimicker that effeminizes males, masculinizes females, messes up the entire hormone system in men and women, shrinks the testicles, damages the ovaries. We can go down a list of this stuff, y'all. I'm trying my best not to go into it right now. So that's all I'm doing.
We got so much to talk about. If you have not clicked the link, y'all gonna be in there shouting and hooping and hollering. You think you're saying wow now? It's gonna be wow with all
the click the link in the bio, y'all.
Yes, they are endocrine disruptors. Yes, they are endocrine disruptors. Absolutely. Absolutely, they are endocrine disruptors. So, that's why I talk about the unplugging. I gave the 3 tips earlier. Unplugging, look at all the red flags. The red flags are not just your mental and emotional health, but also the things that are around you, the things that you're putting on your body. Don't put nothing. Listen to me. I don't care if it's soap. I don't care if it's face wash. I don't care if it's shampoo. I don't care if it's tampons, Tampax, whatever. Don't put anything on your body or in your body that is unnatural. There you go. Rule of thumb. Okay, don't put anything on your body or in your body that's unnatural. I'm not putting any cleansing products on my body that I can't eat. I'm just not going to do it. You better get you some aloe as your shampoo, and you get you some avocado as your conditioner. Them lives from under them arms. Now listen, it don't stop you from sweating, but it definitely, you won't be stinking, okay? You won't be stinking. It won't stop you from sweating. But the antiperspirant movement, right, causing high estrogen in our women, causing aluminum to be leached into breast tissue, causing so many issues. So we gotta, figure out which heart we want. Do we want the hard where we might sweat a little bit because we're using limes as deodorant? We might have to wash our hair a little bit more because we're using avocado as conditioner. Do we want that hard, or do we want the hard where we take everything that's convenient, but 20 years down the line, we got health problems? Right now, we're talking about 10 years down the line now, because it's the compounding of all of these things. So check me out. Not only are we putting horrible food into our body through this snacking culture, right? We just got things that we're eating that don't grow in nobody's garden, right? We putting harmful things into our body because of snacking culture. Then we're putting harmful things on our body because of convenience, because of modern living, right? And then we have harmful things in our environment. A lot of the times we don't control those things, right? Because there's still lead dust in the air. We know that water systems are still being poisoned, right? So we have these things compounding over time. The very least you can do is invest in things that we're doing, like on the 30th, invest in events like this so you should get this information. And guess what? People say, I'm paying you for this information. You're paying for this information. If you get information like this, you need to be taking hella notes, and you need to be putting this into the archive for your family, because this is information that you are passing down. So you're investing $75 to pass down something that can stay in your bloodline for 75 years. Don't miss that. So yes, it's $75 because we're going to spend 3, 4, 5, 6 hours on a Zoom with you, answering your questions, being there for you, hearing your actual unique situations and giving you unique solutions. So yes, that's the energy exchange, to be in the room, but don't miss the fact that all the information that you're going to get, all the notes that you're going to take, you need to print them out. You need to go to Kinko's, you need to go to Office Max, you need to print it out, and you need to put it in your family's book that needs to be passed down. This is how we remedy breast cancer. These are the steps that we take to remedy heart disease. These are the steps that we take, right, to unplug from the matrix. These are the steps that we take, when we're dealing with doctors and nurses, etc. This is why you're doing that energy exchange of paying to come to the events, because you're getting information that can stay in your bloodline for the next 100 years. So when we talk about generational trauma and breaking generational cycles, you are the one that is now responsible for gathering the information and creating these files for your family. So you are the one that's going out and investing and showing up and going to these 100 events so that you can gather the information and you put it in the book and you get your family in order. We can't
pass down the nonsense that we have experienced ourselves. We cannot pass that down anymore. I'm not passing down to my children when I have them.
I want to shout out my brother, Nick Few. I saw him come in the building. I don't know if he's still here. Hey, Nick. Right, so you're investing, and when I see you on Sunday, I'm going to start asking, how many pages of notes did you take? Okay, because those pages of notes should be added to your family's legacy, right? You need to create a family standard operating procedure.
That's critical for the house and for the family. Yes.
Create a standard operating procedure. So I'm going to be talking about food. I'm going to give you a lot of information that needs to go into your SOP for your family, so that when those babies are born, those grandbabies, those great-grandbabies that come after you, they won't have to say, well, I wasn't born with a manual. I wasn't born with... Well, now, if you do the work today and you invest in this event on Sunday and you have not started your SOP yet, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to invest, get information, record the information, and put it in your family's SOP. Somebody type SOP in the comments. Every family should have their own SOP.
That is a major fact. That's one reason why we go through so many issues, is because we don't have them in our home. Standard operating procedures. That's a fact. That is a major fact. And most cultures have that. Most cultures do. Cultures, not just individual homes. Most cultures teach this. So we have to make sure we don't fall into the trap and just continue to duplicate the same losses. I don't know about y'all, but I'm really tired of us losing when it comes to things that we can have control over in our homes. So yes, make sure you get that situated this Sunday, y'all. This Sunday, click the link in the bio right now. The moment I know my sister's about to head out. Click the link in the bio. Yeah, make sure y'all go ahead and show her some love. Make sure y'all follow our sister because again, we've known each other for some years now. I just want y'all to know we didn't just collaborate because we both do good work, which would be that wouldn't be a problem. But I know my sister. We know each other. We got each other's number. We talk. The family knows each other. We really, we really brother and sister. And this is someone who I trust with the work that she does. And all the beautiful results that they have, been able to obtain through this work over these years, which went by very fast. I'm like, man, time is going by so quick.
Not very fast. Yes. And on Sunday, we're going to pick up just right where we left off. So I'm going to come in on Sunday talking about SOPs. Okay, so I'm going to come in on Sunday, picking up exactly where we left off on this live. I'm going to talk about SOPs, and I'm going to break down the SOPs you need to have, the first basic foundational SOPs that you need to have for your family. So I will see you all Sunday. I appreciate all of you from the bottom all around top of my heart for being here, because you could have been anywhere else on this magnificent Tuesday. I appreciate you. I will see y'all on Sunday, and we will pick up when I come on talking about this SOP and how to get your house in order, okay?
See you Sunday. Y'all better get ready. Make sure you click the link in the bio. I'm going to reach out to you in a minute, sis. Once I get off of here, I'm going to finish it. Y'all make sure, give her some love. Y'all make sure y'all follow our sister ASAP. Okay, now, I'm going to tell y'all this real quick. Let me just give y'all a quick update. That's one thing your brother is about to do, which is major. I cannot give you any more than what we have given today regarding Sunday. Make sure you click the link in my bio ASAP right now to reserve your spot. It is a virtual event. For those who are asking, it is a virtual event. It is a virtual event where you will be receiving a lot of information, a lot of solutions, a lot of everything. It will be virtual, private virtual. So you can only gain access to it by clicking the link in my bio. That's the only way you'll be able to get to that. Now, Dallas, Texas. Let me give you a few more updates really quick. Y'all share this live. Let everyone know your brother is live really quick. I have a few updates here. I haven't been live in I don't know how long, but your brother's been building. There's a lot of things that we are in the middle of. First thing, for those of you who are not members of my Patreon, go to patreon.com. Type in Rizza Islam and pick your level on Patreon. So go to Patreon. That's the first thing I really want you to do right now. Go to Patreon. Search up Rizza Islam and join the Patreon, because that's where, if you notice, of course, your brother's network has been taken down multiple times. My last YouTube was taken down at 202,000 subscribers. Not for the shot information, because that's one of the many things that your brother covers, but they didn't take it down for that this time. They took it down for that with the last YouTube page, the first one, which they took down my page at roughly 150,000 subscribers. So the second YouTube channel that was taken down roughly a month and a half ago, we grew to over 200,000 subscribers in just under 8 weeks. We grew to 1/5 of a million subscribers on YouTube in roughly 2 months. Okay, I'm gonna say this again, because this is because of all of you. This is because of y'all and your support for your brother. Okay, I'm gonna say this again, because I know some of y'all, may think that's easy, but the average YouTube channel does not grow to hundreds of thousands of subscribers within the first 2 or 3 or 4 years, let alone 2 months, 8.5 weeks. And that was because of all of you who were looking for your brother. And once you found my YouTube channel, you started to share it, and you got everyone else to find your brother, and you blew up the YouTube channel so fast that YouTube said, hell no, take them down again. And so they snatched it down again. I didn't violate any of their terms and conditions, but it's because the truth that we speak, we have been marked by this government because of it. So it's all in a day's work. All right. But I'm saying all that to say we have a new YouTube channel that is up. It is Rizza Islam IX, the number 3. Rizza Islam IX, the number 3. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to that ASAP. I'm giving you some more updates right now on some other things that we have coming up. So go to YouTube, YouTube, and search up Rizza Islam IX3. Make sure you go and subscribe to that. I'm always looking for you like every 3 months. I appreciate that. I understand. I really do. Make sure you type in really quick into the chat, Rizza Islam IX3. Somebody said the third. Yes. The third. Third time's the charm. I've been a good boy. You know, I've been a good boy. I've been doing my best to, well, no, I ain't gonna lie. I feel all that. No, the enemy will forever get it. Just know that we're not turning down at all. The enemy will forever get it. Forever. I will be 70 giving this enemy the work. I pray that I'm here that long, and I pray that I'm here up to 100 years, if not longer, giving this enemy the work and building up our own people, separating, having our own everything, because preferably we don't want to rely on him anyway. But seriously, it's kind of like, look, man, just leave us alone. You already know what's going on, but I'm not stopping. 8 Instagram pages, 3 Twitter accounts, 4 TikToks, 3 YouTube channels, 2 Facebooks, 5, 6, 7 Clubhouse accounts, over and over and over and over and over and over. 3 websites, because they hacked the website, crashed that 3 separate times, and your brother is still here. Most people would absolutely have stopped, but you're dealing with somebody who's a little different, because my drive comes from doing the work for the people. That's pretty much it. So go to YouTube and subscribe to YouTube, Rizza Islam IX, the number 3. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. That's number 1. Number 2, go to patreon.com, search up Rizza Islam, and subscribe to the Patreon, because that is where my new episodes of my show and the behind the scenes footage and a lot of different updates on community things, all of that goes into the Patreon, and it's only for members. So you will get exclusive everything right in there. A lot of things that I can't post publicly because you already know. Third thing, Dallas, Texas. I will be speaking at an event in Dallas, Texas toward the end of next month. And this is going to be quite interesting. I believe there are roughly 12 other presenters and or speakers who will be there. I'm very honored to be in Dallas. I'm about to be heading back down to Dallas. Whatever part of Texas you are in, I would love to see my family in Texas. Every time I go to Texas, when I say y'all pull up in a major way, y'all pull up in a major way. I've never gone to Texas where I've had an event that I was either a part of or that was my event that I put on that was not sold out and packed out, standing room only. Texas pulls up in a way, man, like I've never seen. And I'm talking about standing room only. So Dallas, Texas, get ready for that. That is an event being put on by our brother Tariq Nasheed. That is next month, toward the end of next month. So get ready for that. Dallas, May 27th, Dallas, Texas. Y'all get ready for that. Next thing. Okay. I haven't been on here in a long time. So there are some updates that I can give you, and then there are updates that I am not necessarily able to give you because I go live with my members privately off of these platforms in another network. And you have to go to joinfreethinkers.com for that, where every Wednesday I talk to my members. You know, we have a private video conference where I'm able to answer questions and giving different updates on other solutions with community work that we are doing in the community and solutions to a lot of the issues that are going on, where I get us connected with the experts in these arenas where we are getting armed with the different solutions. So I get that to my members. That's a private group completely off of this network. You have to go to joinfreethinkers.com and become a member of the Free Thinkers to have access to that. All right. So make sure you go to joinfreethinkers.com, patreon.com. Make sure you search up Rizza Islam on there. Subscribe to Rizza Islam IX3 on YouTube. Now, another update. Okay. So I'm trying to think. Man, I can't tell y'all everything, man. I can't bring out everything on here because you know the enemy is watching, so I'm not going to reveal certain things. When it comes to my show, how many of you have been watching the Intellectual Extremist podcast? How many of you have been watching the Intellectual Extremist podcast? Podcast that is not really a podcast. There ain't no shame in my game, man. I know the enemy is watching, so certain things, it's just, you know, you have to move wisely. Certain things you don't put out publicly if you know that it's going to prevent you from making good moves for the people. So I'm not going to reveal everything publicly. It has nothing to do with fear. It has everything to do with being wise. But how many of you have been watching the Intellectual Extremist podcast? Okay. Yes, you have. Boom. Somebody said the bricks episode was fire. Now, it is a very new podcast, Black-owned studio, top quality everything, from the camera quality to the actual studio equipment, everything. I'm extremely thankful to have my own show. Here is what I'm going to ask you, because I have a number of guests that I'm going after. This is not going to be like any other podcast. And when I say literally unlike any other, I'm talking about the highest levels of intellect is what we are bringing out of the guests that are showing up, and it is critical, very critical. So give me some suggestions on some people you would like me to have a conversation with, where you know that once they step into this studio and we sit down in front of one another, you know this person is going to be legit with the information that they are going to deliver. I'm talking about real, unlike anyone else. And I'm not comparing. I'm literally saying this is not going to be, I really don't think y'all understand. I'm going to give you an example of someone that, let me just give you an understanding as far as how far I'm about to go. Certain people that I'm going to get on. And again, it's not just talking is my point. That's a major issue, because now during the pandemic, everybody named Mama came up with a podcast. And I'd say about 96% of them are not really productive. It's just a bunch of people talking. Again, no hate towards anybody, but I'm speaking from the perspective of an intellect and someone who has been studying for over the last 22 years. There's a lot of meaningless, non-productive talking where we have too many problems going on in the world, and we need more actual solutions, real information that is going to help the people, right? And change the conditions. So it's not just about talking. I'm not interested in that. So I have some good suggestions here. Okay, so let me see here. Some of the suggestions that I've seen so far. Someone said, Queen Elizabeth, I like your thought process. That was corny, but not. Corny, but not. Because knowing me, I will go for it. Okay, let's see here. Dr. Kaba Kamene, of course, down the line for sure. I want you to expand your mind and really think, who would Rizza is? I'm talking, listen, black, white, makes me know, never mind. That's not entirely relevant. I am talking about the highest level of intellect, information. I'm talking about one of the people who I'm going to go after as a guest, and I'm going to get him on. So for the agents listening, you can listen, but it's not going to stop anything. Edward Snowden. Yeah. I'm talking about in that direction. I'm not just talking about, oh yeah, we're going to talk about the same stuff we always talk about. No, I'm talking about a level that is so high that some of you are going to see certain guests on my show, on my platform. You're going to be like, whoa, whoa. How did y'all even come? I didn't even know you two knew each other. Don't get shocked. Don't get shocked. When you see certain people on that platform, it's going to blow your mind. Trust me. Somebody said Kanye. I wouldn't mind. Somebody said RFK Jr. That's a phone call away. Wouldn't mind. Someone said Joe Rogan. I'll have an update about that soon, too. Somebody said Kamala Harris. I'd take that one on, but that's not necessarily intellectual. That's really a waste of time, to be honest with you. It's really a waste of time. That is, see, okay, I'll give you an example of something that I'm not interested in doing. I don't care for clickbait. I'm not interested in sensationalism. I don't do what I do to get likes and views. I don't give a damn. It's not about likes and views. It's about what the people need to change their condition, whether if they know it or not. What do they need? That's where I'm going. So although me interviewing Kamala Harris will absolutely get a lot of people watching to see how is Rizza about to tear Kamala Harris up. Yes, she was funded by ABC Inc. Yes, she stands with Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel. Yes, she's been bought off heavily. Yes, she doesn't claim to be black, except when she wants to wear Timberland boots to try to run to get reelected, or she claims to be an Indian American, but then she turns around and says, well, I'm not just going to do things just for black people. Or she turns around and says, hey, we did it, Joe, blah, 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 blah. She had to lock up a lot of our people. She could have kept a few black men off of death row, but she ignored it. A lot of stuff. One of the highest incarceration rates of black men and women here in California under her authority. Terrible. I easily could demolish, but that's not the point. That's not going to do much for us. So although, yeah, the video will get probably 4 or 5 million views, it's not going to do much to productively move us forward. That's why I'm not really interested in that. But again, if she were to come on, I would entertain it. I would just be strategic about what I'm going to ask. And one of the first questions I would ask is, how much did Israel pay you? Oh, see, like that kind of stuff. So that's why it just wouldn't be good. Don't let me interview her, all right? And this is the reason why they don't have me on certain platforms. It just wouldn't be. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good for them, all right, for certain people. I'm not interested. Andrew Tate, wouldn't mind. I've had a lot of people trying to connect us as well, so I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, would be a good conversation. Would be a good conversation. We're both on government lists. He's on a more of a European list. I'm on this American government list. Great conversation. Lots of views, but it's what are we going to get out of this to benefit the people? That's what I care about. Candace Owens. Okay. Wouldn't mind. That would be interesting, though. Candace Owens. That would be interesting. It would be more like me talking to my little sister, because one, she is younger than I am. Two, she lacks so much cultural connection to black people. So it will be a lot of educating of my sister. I don't say that in an arrogant way. You need to know about Candace Owens if you even consider the thought process of having me and her sitting across each other at the same table. Just black man from Compton, born and raised, never indoctrinated in the system of white supremacy whatsoever, black to the bone. That's me. Black everything. Love the black woman. I'm not indoctrinated whatsoever, nor am I whitewashed. So a lot of what she says is what is called revisionist history, where she whitewashes a lot of history that is not true, including statistics, including doing everything possible to benefit the system, and it's insane. But then again, there's a lot of times where she makes decent points, and then there's a time where she destroys those decent points she just made. So again, there's a balance to it. I don't mind. I'll have a conversation with her. That will be good. I wouldn't run from it at all. Oprah would never sit down with me. Let's see. Give me some more suggestions, y'all. Give me some more suggestions. Let me see here. Sorry, I have to scroll up. Give me a few more suggestions. While you're doing this, make sure you go to Patreon, search up Rizza Islam, and become a member on the Patreon. Also, go to Rumble. We are on Rumble, and make sure you subscribe to the Rumble account. Let everyone know your brother Rizza Islam is live. Go to Rumble, subscribe to the Rumble account. Also, make sure you go to Twitter. Here's something I'm going to mention about Elon Musk, since people are mentioning Elon Musk and Donald Trump. To answer the question, yes, I would sit down with our brother Dr. Umar Johnson. Yes, I would sit down with Elon Musk. And yes, I would sit down with Donald Trump. Can I give you a quick little piece of information that I have not revealed publicly, but I can reveal it publicly now? It's just I just didn't think about it until right now. I was invited to meet Donald Trump about 5 years ago. Just so y'all know, I was invited to meet Donald Trump 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. 5 years ago, I was invited to meet Donald Trump, and I turned it down. I mean, really, I was brought to dinner, sat down, had a conversation with these two individuals representing a certain group and organization where they were bringing different people from different religious groups and activists and researchers, and they were just gathering up different people to go in as a group to have a conversation with Donald Trump. And they asked me, as a young representative on behalf of the Black community, this is how they presented it to me. Many people, I'll just say many Black men in the quote unquote conscious community, or a lot of Black men who are activists, etc., would have jumped on the opportunity for whatever reason, whether if it's to represent the people, right? Because a lot of our brothers sincerely do, but then a lot of our brothers are victims of the thirst for fame or money, or they want some kind of notoriety or acknowledgement from the system, which, like, we don't give a damn about what Satan thinks, but some of our brothers do. They don't know it's Satan, but they like, I want to be. And it's like, bro, the people see you already up here, but you want acknowledgement from that. So anyway, I turned it down because that's not my place. 5 years ago, when I was offered to meet Donald Trump, no. That meeting is for my leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And they knew that, which is why I told them that. I said, I appreciate that. I would be honored to meet with Donald Trump after the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. After Trump meets with my leader. I'll do that. Because see, there's a difference when you're dealing with your brother. I have respect for the proper position, the protocol, and the order of importances. There are things that have to be done in the proper order. In the proper order. I don't give a damn. The United States government does not like Rizza Islam. I'm on 3 different lists. Great. I've already made it to the highest level you can when it comes to being a revolutionary. I got my Super Bowl rings for being revolutionary. That's it. You Google Rizza Islam, it is what it is. Great. So I don't care about that, but it is what it is. But when it comes to something like that, that is not for me. That's not my move, because that is something dealing with the highest level of government and potential moves for our people on a level that takes an elder, spiritual, wise, and properly placed person. And that one person is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I really don't give a damn what you think about that at all, because I know how this goes from a militant-minded understanding. It has nothing to do with this little nonsense of this fake social media world where people think because you get likes that means you're something. I have followers. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have a number up there, and then there's a word that says follower, but it doesn't mean that people follow you. And that's another psychological trick that they came up with these social media platforms. is for people to go into this pregnant state of self-aggrandizement to make them feel like they are above everybody else because they have followers. No, you don't have followers. No, you don't. Most people don't even know what followers really mean. You have no idea what that even means. Seriously, a lot of us don't even have no clue what that means. It means people are going to go by your word to their death if it means that, to submit to what it is that you direct them to do. It's a critical position to be in. It's a very serious position to be in. So anyway, I haven't been live with y'all in a long time, but I had to kind of clear that up. So I was offered to meet with Donald Trump 5 years ago. Turn that down. If I'm offered again, not until after he meets with Farrakhan. Not gonna happen. Not until after he meets with the minister. Seriously, that's my preference. All right. So that's that. Elon Musk. Interestingly enough, let me tell y'all something. Elon Musk looked at the list of 12 people that the United States government and 12 attorney generals placed myself on with 11 others. Myself, interestingly enough, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now running for president, right? He's on the same list that I'm on. We're colleagues in this fight. But Elon Musk looked at that list after he purchased Twitter, and he started going down the list of people who were banned while Twitter was under Jack Dorsey's authority, when Jack Dorsey owned it. And it's interesting because Elon Musk started to get called by the people on that list of 12. So Robert F. Kennedy was one of the people that, of course, he was back on there. And they started going down the list, and they put the Mercolas back on there. They put Dr. Sherry Tenpenny back up there. They put Dr. Christiane Northrup back up there. They put, who was it? They put Dr. Rasheed X back on, and they called me. One of those on the list called me. They said, we're going to get this information to Elon now to bring you back on to Twitter. And they brought my original Twitter back. I never thought that would happen. Now, for those of you who have been rocking with your brother for a number of years, who have watched me get taken down from all these platforms, having faith is one thing, but I really don't care, to be honest with you, as far as being on these platforms. I do it because that's where you are. And so when I get back to you to get you the information you need, then I have to bring you over to the platforms that will not remove your brother. You get what I'm saying? It's just our people happen to be on these platforms. And so we have to get to our people wherever they are. And then bring them over to the platforms that we control. It's just how it goes. So Elon Musk brought back my original Twitter account. That was interesting. That was interesting. But what is even more so interesting now is how there is a lawsuit, 2 lawsuits even, between the Disinformation Dozen and Facebook and Instagram, because now we're on the offensive now. And it looks like we're about to win, meaning we're going to get our original pages back. Do you know what is going to happen when Brother Rizza Islam's original Instagram gets restored? The one that had over 500,000 people following that page? Do you know what's about to happen? Do y'all have any idea? You have any idea what is about to happen? See, this enemy is getting very pissed off. Fauci went to court. Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary, went to court. They're all going to court because they have been found to be lying over and over again. Do you have any idea what's happening? I'm telling you, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's a very interesting time that we're living in. So it's just interesting. So anyway, let me get back to this list really quick. While I'm looking at this list of people that you're all suggesting, make sure you go to Patreon. I'm going to look at some more people that you have all suggested, and I'm going to let you know whether or not I will go with that person, whether if I'll sit down and interview them or not. But make sure you go to Patreon, Rizza Islam on Patreon, and subscribe to that. Make sure you go to YouTube, Rizza Islam IX and the number 3. Make sure you subscribe to that. And of course, go to Rumble and subscribe there. And for those who want to be a part of my private members only group called the Free Thinkers, go to joinfreethinkers.com. Now, let me go down this list really quick here. Somebody said Charlemagne the God. Ah, Charlemagne. There's a reason why I have not been on the Breakfast Club. Many of you may not know that. Some of you probably thought I have been on there. And there's a number of people who thought I've been on the Breakfast Club. I don't know why, but a lot of people thought I've been on the Breakfast Club. I haven't. And there are a number of reasons why. And I found out recently that there is far more conspiracy happening than we thought. Far more. Just know that. And by the way, there are still people meeting with people, celebrities, artists, things like that, telling them not to be around your brother. Just so you know. Just so you know. And I do my best not to blast them publicly. I do my best not to. You know who you are. But seriously, time is ticking. So for those of you who are doing that, I get how afraid you are, but you might want to cut it out. Seriously. Again, it's not about Rizza being seen. That has nothing to do with that. But when you're preventing people from getting information that will help them, even if I pass that information along to others who are going to be on certain platforms, and you prevent them from, getting that information out to the people as well, then you're letting me know what your motive is. You're letting me know what your motive is. So I'm just letting you know, just because I haven't blasted a number of you publicly does not mean I'm not going to. Trust me when I tell you this. Seriously. Because when it comes to the lives of the people and helping the people and preventing the people from being negatively affected by things, I take that very serious. And a lot of you are ego-driven, not you watching, or you may be watching. You're ego-driven, and you do your best to keep the people held down by preventing them from receiving certain information because you don't want to lose control of them. That's some devil stuff, and I'm telling you now, that time is running out very quickly. So get it together. Dave Chappelle, yes, don't mind. I would sit down with Dave Chappelle. I would interview him on the show for sure. Man, the minister, that's different. The minister, that will be up to the minister. That will be up to me. I wouldn't even be talking. Just so y'all know. Really wouldn't. I would probably present questions to him from all of you, mainly from our generation, to be honest with you, because unlike most people, he said virtually everything. It's just we haven't moved on it yet. That's pretty much it. He's already told us everything we need to do. But if he wanted to, if he chose to, I will be, I'll be extremely honored. No doubt. Someone brought up, let me see. Yes, Dave Chappelle for sure. I wouldn't mind interviewing him. Our brother Snoop Dogg. That will be very interesting. That's a phone call. I would interview our brother if he would like to do that. Sure. Tyler Perry. Would they allow him? I don't know about that one. Brother Tyler Perry. So, nah, you're going to joke like that right now. Not right now. But I wouldn't mind. All right? Wouldn't mind. Let's see. Next person. Some of you are saying the same person. Dr. Umar. Of course. Me and Dr. Umar having a conversation will probably... Me and my brother having a conversation? Yeah, that would be... When you're dealing with it, powerful, to say the least. All right? Just put it that way. To say the least. Powerful. Definitely wouldn't mind interviewing our brother. Let me see. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at DeSantis. Mr. DeSantis of Florida. I wouldn't mind interviewing him. I wouldn't mind interviewing him. For sure. I wouldn't mind doing that. That would be very interesting because, you know, these would be raw questions. And he gives out pretty good, straightforward answers. He made a lot of good moves when it came to the pandemic, and then he made some not so good moves. He lied a little bit too, just like most politicians do, but I wouldn't mind doing that. DeSantis of Florida. Kodak Black for sure. That'll bring a lot of my Zoes out. A lot of my Zoes, a lot of brothers and sisters who are Haitian. I have respect for our family over in Haiti. So that'd be a dope conversation because Brother Kodak Black is actually, he's pretty knowledgeable. He really is. KRS-One, my brother. Ooh, that conversation. Woo! Ooh, man. Okay, for those of you who know, oh, that'll be crazy. David Icke, now we on, okay, so y'all know where we go. Okay, you brought up Umar Johnson, KRS-One, you brought up the minister, and let's keep expanding. People who you've never seen anybody from the Black community sit down and interview. You brought up David Icke. David Icke would be an interesting, if some of you don't even know who David Icke is. I'll give you a name that if he were alive, I would interview him if he were alive. I'm trying to think, where's that? This man right here, author of Behold a Pale Horse, Mr. William Cooper. I for sure would have interviewed Mr. William Cooper. Critical. There are layers and arenas of information. David Icke is in a different arena. Different arena, not level, arena, right? Arena. Same thing with William Cooper. For sure would interview Mr. William Cooper. I was interviewed, matter of fact, yeah, what am I thinking? I was interviewed by a journalist from David Icke's network. So there's an interview that I was interviewed in Washington, D.C. for David Icke's channel. What is this channel called? If you know David Icke's network, make sure, please comment that. But I was interviewed on there, and all throughout Europe, they was watching your brother on that show. Because David Icke ain't no joke. The government can't stand him. It's just when he goes to the reptilian stuff that I'm kind of like, you're losing me, Mr. Icke. Only slightly, because I'm still going into it. But the secret societies and all of that, extraterrestrials, and we can go into that all day because the U.S. government is finally admitting certain things. There's a lot of areas that your brother Rizza can go into. There's, boy, some stuff I'm about to be talking about. Y'all gonna be like, what the hell's going on? Let me see. Next person, Killer Mike. Don't mind. I wouldn't mind that. Let's see. Lauren London. Definitely wouldn't mind interviewing our sister. Remember, the interview has to be extremely productive for the people's benefit. That's my point. It's not just a big name. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not about that for me. Genuinely, it's not about, just a big name. No, it's big change in the condition of the intelligence of the people that will help to change their condition. That's what it's for. Nas, wouldn't mind interviewing our brother Nas, NBA Youngboy. Man, it's so much me and my brother will talk about. So much me and my brother will talk about because we are going to bring the intellect out of everyone that we interview. That's the point. That is the point. Rakim, the OG, that'll be dope. Someone said Bill Gates, don't tempt me, please. Please don't tempt me. Don't tempt, please don't. You know what? Challenge accepted. Putting that note down. All right. All right. Justin Trudeau. Come on with it. That's what I'm talking about. Governors, presidents, world leaders. Yes. I don't think y'all understand where I'm going with this. I don't think some of you may not realize how far I have no barrier on who I'm striving to access to meet with. There is no barrier. I mentioned earlier Edward Snowden, for example. Julius Malema of the Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa. That's going to be a critical interview. Ooh, man, boy, the agents who are assigned to me right now, I know some of y'all are like writing these names down. Relax. You're not going to stop nothing. So you can just chill out. Let me see. Tell them what CRT means, critical race theory. History that white people don't find comfortable. Yeah, that's pretty much all critical race theory is. It's not a theory, it's just history that white people don't like to hear because it deals with them taking responsibility for things that their ancestors have done that they continue to benefit from, that we are still traumatized by and still working through. Again, these are commercialized terms. It's like asking a white person, what does woke mean? Because right now in the political world, they've politicized woke, and not a damn one of them can tell you what it actually means. That's a black cultural term for the most part. It came from consciousness. It has nothing to do with what they're talking about. It's insulting every time we hear them talk about it. It's like, they're just, what are y'all talking about? They're like, these woke rappers, these woke politicians, this woke agenda. What are you talking about? What are you? It's a cold word for nigga now for a lot of them. Really, seriously. These are commercialized people versus those who actually have the proper knowledge in their heads. Like we're not indoctrinated into the nonsense that they put out here. It's really sad. Again, hence why the podcast is much different. We're not into the nonsense that they push. It's the truth or it's not. You're a man or you're a woman. There is no in between. Stop it, knock it off. Stop it, knock it off. You get what I'm saying? Seriously. Jane Elliott. I would not mind. I would not mind interviewing Jane Elliott. The brown eye test has transformed a lot of people. Jane Elliott's work is legendary. That is a fact. Her, along with Tim Wise, along with a few others. But I still will not absolve them of their responsibility as Caucasian individuals. So the conversation will be very real if I interview Jane Elliott or Tim Wise. Although I agree with, the stuff that when they speak the truth, it's true. But there's sometimes when you're still trying to get away from taking responsibility or being held accountable for certain things, because Jane Elliott is not entirely for example, reparations. I know, again, some people are like, yeah, well, no, there is no negotiation on that. You never negotiate with Jewish people when it comes to reparations that Israel receives. You won't negotiate when it comes to reparations for the Chinese that they receive. You did not negotiate when it came to reparations that the Italians received. You would never negotiate or try to have an argument about anyone else's group or nation of people who have been affected, negatively raped and robbed and destroyed by another group and them having to repay it. No one else tries to wax enthusiastic that or intellectualize or try to figure out a way to justify. No, it's only when it comes to our people. No. So anyway, just so you know, I study a lot of these people that y'all are mentioning. So I think that'll be the only area of contention that we would have. Disagreement, really not really contention. But I wouldn't hold back at all with Jane Elliott. Kanye West, like I said, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind interviewing. $200,000 a month for child support. Only a devil. Eddie Griffin, 2.0. Shout out to you for that one. Eddie Griffin, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, the intellectuals of the comedy world, for sure. Corey Holcomb. I would interview. I'm gonna call Brother Corey. He's gonna be like, yeah, Brother Rizza, whenever you want to come by, let me do that. That's gonna be, I'm gonna hold that one. Let's see. I'm almost off here, y'all. Make sure you go to my Patreon. Search up Rizza Islam on Patreon. Make sure you pick your tier there and subscribe. And also go to Rumble, subscribe Rizza Islam. Go to YouTube, Rizza Islam IX, the number 3. Subscribe there. And also for Sunday, the virtual event that we are having, click the link in my bio with myself and Sister Arisha Oshun, the I Am Surviving Vegan group. Make sure you get your seat for that. Link in the bio. Barack Obama. I would not mind at all. I would not mind interviewing our brother Barack Hussein Obama at all. Vladimir Putin wouldn't mind at all. I admire his strength. I can't lie to you. I cannot lie to you. Vladimir Putin is not a man to be trifled with. Russia is not to be trifled with, but He's no joke. He's a black belt in martial arts. He rules with an iron fist in Russia. See, I can respect the power. I may have disagreements with certain policies, but for sure. I mean, see, another thing is we have to expand our mind when it comes to knowledge overall. You must know about international policy, foreign policy. We have to learn history of other nations, countries, organizations, groups, cultures, etc. Same as we learn our own. The Dalai Lama, yes, I would not mind interviewing the Dalai Lama. He encouraged people to push the shot. The same with the Pope. They encourage people to take the shot. Tank, the R&B singer Tank, or our brother Javante Davis, Tank from Baltimore. I mean, I wouldn't mind interviewing either or, to be honest with you. But I would, no, just two different worlds: R&B and music, sports, athleticism, and boxing. Shout out to Javante Davis for that win, by the way. That body shot was magnificent. If you've never been hit in the rib, in the liver, you don't know how it feels. I have. It's magnificent. That timing was on point. Beautiful. For those of you who saw the Ryan Garcia versus Javante Davis fight, yes, we watch fighting. I love fighting. I love fighting. I just don't express it to y'all like that. Kind of a big guy over here. Colin Kaepernick has been real quiet, right? I wouldn't mind interviewing brother Colin Kaepernick. I wouldn't mind. Colin Kaepernick, that would be interesting as well. Give me some more names that if you were to see me in a picture with them, it will blow your mind. That level, I'm saying. That, whoa, I got to see this. Not because of, oh, it's me and this person, but because it's us together. And so you know that whatever comes out of this is going to be so beneficial for the people. Do you get what I'm saying? That kind of mindset. Because of how you know, we're not going to hold back in the conversation, and we're going to ask real information, questions that bring out real things that benefit the people. George Soros, man, my mind went to like 20 different questions. Some of y'all said George Soros. Lord have mercy. George Soros, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, these individuals. Henry Kissinger, who is still alive. Do you know that Dr. Henry Kissinger is still alive? Man, where's my book at? Oh my gosh, this devil is still alive. Where's this dude? Henry Kissinger is still alive after coming out with the NSSM 200 directory on how to go towards depopulation. This individual is still walking around. He's still walking around living. You're talking about crime against humanity. Who issued this? The man is still alive. Yes, I would love to interview him. Absolutely. For sure. Man, it would probably be like, okay, that's enough questions. That's enough. But when we got it, we got it. Yeah, man. May Allah be pleased with our brother Harry Belafonte. He made his transition today, 96 years young. Brother Harry Belafonte. That's our brother. You know what? Orlando Jones. Love our brother, man. He's from Compton, too. You know, me and Orlando, both from Compton. I would have to talk to him off camera long before, though, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't mind. Mike Tyson. Ooh. Oh, it would not go in the direction y'all would think either. It wouldn't. Oh. Iron Mike. I wouldn't mind. LeBron James. I wouldn't mind. Some people, they just couldn't sit down with me, though, to be honest with you, because of their setup, because of their life, because of the position they're in. Seriously, just certain people, I wouldn't mind interviewing them, but they couldn't sit down with me because they know what kind of questions they know. Hey, so how's your scoring? I'm not. No, sir. We're going to the intellect, not exposing your private information. We're going to the intellect, the topics that you think of, that you ponder here, that you know others are doing the same, thinking about this, and you want to have a conversation about it on a level where you know someone you can bounce ideas off of, and we're going to go into it to inspire everyone else. That's what I'm talking about. And they for damn sure don't want their prize slaves to wake up Nobody. Let's see. They believe in Black Jesus. Who was that? Who believes in Black Jesus? I'm almost done, y'all. I'm just really looking at what? What name is that? Who else would you all like for me to interview on the Intellectual Extremist podcast? By the way, for the audio of the podcast, we are on, I believe, Spotify, Anchor. It's going to get on Apple Music and all of that, but make sure you search up the Intellectual Extremist podcast. Joe Rogan, I would not mind. I would not mind. Sadhguru, who also pushed the shot. Yes, I wouldn't mind. We can discuss things of Hare Krishna and the Supreme Godhead, and we can go into that, the blue-black understanding of the physical Godhead of Krishna, and we can learn about the principles and discuss the tenets of the Hindu. I have no problem with that. All of that is wonderful, and how roughly 30% of all the gold in India, maybe over 30%, is on the bodies of the Indian women. You know, like they wear their gold all across the nation. Wonderful. How Mahatma Gandhi was actually quite racist and not necessarily a friend to the darker Indian brothers and sisters. He did not really like them. And I know that blew my mind too. It's crazy how Brother Martin Luther King Jr., may Allah be pleased with him, he didn't know that Gandhi didn't actually like the darker Indians. And Mahatma means great soul. And a lot of the Indian scholars don't even refer to him as Mahatma Gandhi. They just refer to him as Gandhi because they find it to be disrespectful to refer to him as a great soul when they say he actually was very discouraging towards the darker native indigenous Indians. Okay, now, let me see. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind whatever the topics are. Jordan Peterson, sure. That will be a very monotone conversation on his end, but there will be a lot of psychological things that will be quickly dispersed. I'll just say it that way. His stance on the trans issue, much respect. His stance on most issues, I fully agree with for the most part. He's white, and because of that, I'm a black man, culturally black, Compton, black. I'm that to the bone. So that's there. But I will say this to you. The problem at times is that when you're dealing with someone of another culture, they're not doing things intentionally at times that are disrespectful towards you. At times it genuinely is ignorance. You see what I'm saying? And that's something else that we have to mature to understand, so that when we converse with people, every white person is not always intentionally just trying to be racist. That's not when they're talking. They're just genuinely ignorant. Seriously, a lot of them don't know how to talk. They don't. A lot of them don't know history, their own history, let alone history of the world. They don't. A lot of them don't. So they'll say things and they think because that's what they've always known. It's what they were raised knowing. They don't know that when they're saying something that's a bunch of crap. Like when Jordan Peterson, he when Elizabeth passed, and he said some things dealing with her passing, etc. Meanwhile, it's like, that's Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth of that nation that has been one of the top murderers and robbers of the indigenous people on the planet, especially India. Woo, they owe India trillions, but then collectively with the indigenous people across the planet, they owe so much, and they still have so much. Really? Whatever. So you see what I'm saying? So we'll have a conversation about that. These are things that I have to consider and think about when I'm sitting down in front of people. Things that others may not really be thinking about or considering, but I will. Bill Maher, I wouldn't mind. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to give you that update. Just keep Bill Maher in mind for sure. Ben Shapiro. A lot of people have been wanting me to sit down with Ben Shapiro. I believe it's going to happen. Because they were saying, well, he talks fast, you talk fast, you talk fast, both of you talk fast, and he's always winning debates because he always wins debates because he's right, a lot of the debates he's winning are because he's talking very fast, and because the person he is talking to, many of them can't keep up at the speed in which his mind is moving and his mouth is moving. And then the majority of those in the crowd at the events that he goes to usually are in favor of him because they admire him. So it's a slanted crowd and audience. So even if he says something wrong, the audience will agree to him because they admire him. So there are layers as to why Ben Shapiro wins a lot of debates. And then again, sometimes, yeah, what he's saying is an actual fact. His information dealing with racism, dealing with reparations, dealing with black people overall for the vast majority is absolutely disgustingly, ridiculously, pregnantly retarded and fraudulent, and it's not actual facts. If I had a conversation with him, the first thing I would ask him is, when were you a black man, Mr. Shapiro? How long have you been a black man? And what part of America were you born in where you were a black man? First thing. And then the black on black crime is called proximity killing. You kill where you are. You kill where you live. The majority of Mexicans kill Mexicans. The majority of Australians are killed by Australians. The majority of white are killed by white. The majority of, I don't know, Italians are killed by who? Italians. The majority of Chinese are killed by Chinese. The majority of Indian natives are killed by Indian natives. Why? Because it's, you kill where you are. It's within your location. People don't normally grab whole groups of people and then go and kill people in another state or country. That's not normally how this goes. Everyday people die within their given proximity. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a psychological twist that they came up with so that they would not have to take responsibility or hold themselves accountable, so that they wouldn't have to give reparations, wouldn't have to give land back, wouldn't have to give anything back to the people that they have destroyed in every single way possible and benefited from in every single way possible. Happen to be us, black folks in America, descendants of slaves. Not all of us. Some of us were descended partially from the natives who were already here. Some. Then some are from the descendants of slaves. I have ancestors on both sides. So, no, that conversation will end pretty quick. Knock it off. Boom. End it. Then we'll go into the Jewish-Muslim conversation. And then that's when you bring in Jonathan Greenblatt and the ADL, which has not answered. And the ADL will not sit down and have a conversation because they ain't ready for that either. We will bring out book 1, book 2, book 3. You're not ready. It's not a conversation that we want to have. No. It's not. Again, information that benefits the people. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's what benefits the people. Jordan Peele wouldn't mind. Charleston White, I mean, would be hilarious maybe, but wouldn't care to. But then I wouldn't mind either. Wouldn't mind either way. I'm not interested in the people who get on the internet and just do things for clicks and talk. Not interested in that. Some of us are a little embarrassing. A lot. Actually, some of us get on the internet and we really are embarrassing. The Prince of Saudi Arabia. That is an interesting one. You are referring to Prince, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, the new prince. Well, he's the prince, and I believe he's the first in line to become king now, which is Prince Suleiman. I believe Prince Suleiman, I believe. That would be very interesting. I mean, very interesting. Okay, I think that is it. Y'all, I don't know if you can see me. Can y'all see me? Comment if you can see your brother, because the comments right now are paused. I can't see any of you. Anthony Fauci. I interviewed a scientist by the name of Dr. Lane Rowling, who was connected with, he was dealing with White House staff during the response team for the virus whole situation with the pandemic. And he was supposed to sit down and have an interview with Anthony Fauci. Didn't happen. The Trump administration was making it happen. It got approved. It went through to start the process, and then something happened, and they were like, let's cut that, because they probably went and saw some of Dr. Lane Rowling's early interviews, and they were like, yeah, no, he's going to demolish Fauci and call him out for the crap that he's doing. So, yeah. But Fauci, he's retired. I don't think that will happen. Okay, can y'all see me? Let me know, because the comments, again, as I said, have paused. Judy Mikovits, yes, for sure. I interviewed Judy Mikovits in front of the CDC back in 2014. 2014, I interviewed Dr. Judy Mikovits in front of the CDC. That was critical. It was dealing with the AIDS virus and the AIDS shot, because she used to work under Fauci, and that was critical information. Oh my gosh, that was, oh man, I have to find that old interview. It's old, I have to find it, but that was critical. Okay, y'all, I appreciate you. Your brother's about to hop off of here. Make sure you go to my Patreon and subscribe to that. Go to Patreon, search up Rizza Islam. Also, make sure you go to YouTube, search up Rizza Islam IX and the number 3. Subscribe to the YouTube. Go to Rumble and subscribe to the Rumble account. For those of you who would like to become members of the private group that I have called the Free Thinkers, go to joinfreethinkers.com. Joinfreethinkers.com. And of course, Sunday, get ready for that, because we will be having an amazing event on Sunday. Click the link in the bio to reserve your seat for that. I'm going to take these questions off here, but I'm going to see y'all soon. The brother's going to hop off here. I can't see your comments, y'all. Appreciate all of you for your suggestions. Thank you for the names. Thank you for the suggestions. We're going to get to work on that. And I will be giving y'all some more updates very soon. May Allah bless y'all. Have a good night. Peace, peace.